What is up, everyone, and welcome back to Beskar Bricks. And today we are going to be looking at 6 LEGO Star Wars minifigures, some of them being some of the very first variations of Imperials, and some of them being the most recent or representing the most recent designs of those minifigures. We have an original Stormtrooper, we have an original Imperial Officer, and we have a almost original TIE Fighter pilot, the main difference being that his head is in the new style of brown. So, these are our 3 old minifigures, and we are going to be comparing them to 3 new ones. And just by the way, I'd like to clarify, I am not using the TIE Fighter pilot with the silver stripes down the helmet, because this one does not have that. As technically that is the most recent variation, but I'm using one without it. But we are just going to start off with the Stormtrooper. Now the Stormtrooper have gone through a lot of changes, and we can see that here. The biggest one is, of course, the helmet printing. Not only has the printing gotten significantly better, as there is no mustache on this guy, the mold has just changed a dramatic amount. You can see there. Now, I'm gonna be honest, this mold has grown on me a lot. It really has. I like this mold a lot. It has grown on me. It is this nice dual molded mold, so it has grown on me, but the printing wise, it has gotten phenomenal. Like the back printing especially shines. You can see how they're different, and even their weapons, which came from built out of actual Lego pieces to having their own molds. If you're wondering, I got this guy from Final Duel 2 and this guy from the most recent 2021 TIE Fighter. So honestly, this helmet has grown on me, but I do like this figure a little bit more. It's also worth mentioning that he actually is a yellow toned, skin toned minifigure. Well, this guy actually has a head. So quite a bit of difference between those two, specifically in the helmet, but the printing does share enough similarities. Next, we have an Imperial Officer. This is the very first one, once again, from Final Duel 2. And here's a modern Imperial Officer from the Imperial Patrol Solo Story Battle Pack. Now, while there has been more Imperial Officers since, this guy definitely does really show us how much the figure has improved, specifically in the torso printing. Not only can you see that this uses the old gray, while this guy uses the new gray, this yellow skin tone the skin tone is different, and the hats are completely different. This was one of the very first minifigure elements, like hats ever made, and this is a very, very new kind of mold. So really, while this hat definitely does the job, this one gives you such a more accurate look. And looking at the back printing, this guy looks extremely plain. This guy just has a little bit more detail, especially the faces. The faces are quite different between these two minifigures. This is a very simple minifigure, but some decent printing. You can see the lines are much more thicker, and they just got a lot more wrinkles and stuff, and a thicker belt, but the torso printing definitely seems to have, the same ideas to them. Interestingly, he only has 1 pin up there, but he has 2 pins, and they are different ranks, by the way. I'm not too familiar with Imperial Officer ranks, so I don't know who is technically the higher in authority, but now we're going to be taking actually, I think it might be him. But now we're going to take a look at the Imperial TIE Fighter pilots here. It's an original Imperial TIE Fighter pilot. This guy was taken from the 2006 TIE Fighter. This guy was taken from the 2018 Solo Story TIE Fighter. Now, once again, we have to take a look at helmets here. See their heads there for a second. Completely new molds. This uses the Stormtrooper helmet. Well, this is its own complete mold that was developed for TIE Fighter pods, but it's since been adapted by other characters like the Inferno Squad and AT-AT pilots. This helmet, while it definitely looks more accurate, is showing skin in the back. Really, that's probably just a problem with the minifigure head. And speaking of minifigure head, I don't believe that is actually used to show skin tone, just so you don't have too much color coming out from the back. which LEGO has ultimately failed on since then. But in terms of the printing on the front of the torsos, let's just take the helmets off again, just so you can see. Get a little bit of a better look. They have similar ideas, but are significantly different in terms of detail. You can at least see those two. They look kind of similar, but you can just see, geez, how much have they improved is just insane. From the just from the such tiny details, those controls are just so much blockier, while the buttons are much better. Especially the breathing apparatus tubes have gotten significantly more thicker. Just look at all of that suit detailing that is just absent there. Kind of awkward gray line running through. No leg printing on this old guy, but no back printing either. Even though he has some simple back printing, it is back printing. No, just for fun, here's how this guy looks with the new helmet, and this is how this guy looks with the old helmet. Also, the old helmet actually has almost a little bit of like shininess to there. Well, this is just a white thing, so. And I should probably just say this. I believe that this minifigure is exclusive to the Solo Story TIE Fighter. This guy came in, I believe, at least one other set. This guy was exclusive to his set, so was this guy. This guy is only exclusive because of his head, but that doesn't really add any value. So really, you can get that kind of Stormtrooper in other sets. And this guy came in a few others, so. Yeah, this was kind of a quick look on how some popular LEGO Imperials have evolved over the years. So I would love to hear your comments on this. Which one do you think has changed the most? Do you dislike some of these changes? Me personally, I'm very satisfied with all of these changes. But once again, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I do hope to see you in my next video.